Hi, and welcome back to Theo's Coffee Break podcast for the next episode here in season four. I have a really janky setup right now. Um, Let me see if I can show you. So, we had to do some. Whoop! Well, there you go. I was afraid that was going to happen. Hold on, let me get this set back up. But yeah, we're making it work. We can still get the episode out, and this is the first time of me trying it, so this is technically the test to see if this is going to be the thing. So if it's out, that means that it passed the test. Sorry, I got to get close to the mic. All right. Anyways, because of that, just in case if this is a mulligan and I got to scrap it, I just decided to pull up my positive affirmation cards because I need some positivity right now. As still trying to figure things out, but this was a priority, and it looks like, crossing my fingers, this is the solution. So, and then we'll figure out a better setup because like the mic is attached to the chair in a weird way and all sorts of stuff. So, anyways, it looks like the message is going to be really centered around resolution. And resolution says, whatever it is that you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. And I totally get that. You know, at times you got to compromise with things and have hope for the future. And remember that hope is not something outside of yourself, it's something that's found within you. And it's regarding and aligned with the light that exists within you already. And that is your authenticity, that's your inner voice, that's your inner strength. And oftentimes that's found in compassion, being nurturing, and having a very good understanding centered around who you are and being mentally stable and emotionally stable. Because we can't avoid the storm. Okay, we're clicking that back in. I didn't like the way that stopped, but anyways, it's centered around that stuff. Hope that exists within ourselves. It's centered around the light that exists within who we are. And it's a part of being grounded. It's a part of having awareness, self-awareness for what is happening around you. But there are times in your life where it just gets dire and you're kind of stuck just trying to figure out how can we move forward? How can we make stuff happen? And that comes down to how does okay, so I just want to end this. Oh my god. All right, I'm just going to end this with saying that there are things that happen in life and they are dire. And that is a part of what happens in life. That's God testing your faith to see if you are willing to trust Him, that He will provide for you. And you are capable. You are strong enough to make it through that storm. But consequences happen. Karma happens. And so I'm just going to end it with this. If you would like to join today's coffee break, I would encourage you to come on by. Clearly, there are still a lot of people that don't want this podcast to be heard, and they don't want this episode to be heard, but it's meant to be heard. All right, come on over for today's episode. I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, back to you and me. We are going to get this recorded, no matter who is here and who is trying to stop me. These people have no life. I will tell you that right now. They have no life. They are so obsessed with me. It's insane. So we're just going to keep this going. Resolution. This is coming to an end, whether or not you like it. All right, we have don't freak out and effectively. So, like with what just happened, I didn't freak out. I got a little frustrated because that's annoying. Somebody's like disconnecting my crap but I've been under surveillance for a long time. I've been monitored for a long time. I've been investigated for an unwarranted. All right, they're still at it. They're still at it. They're trying. They disconnected my interface again. Um. Anyways, but things like that happen, and you can't freak out because when you're living in your truth and you've been transparent and you've been conned, and again, unwarranted, unlawful investigation done on me with no reason. It's still happening. And they're still trying to stop my work from coming out because they're threatened by it. And they're threatened by these messages. But again, you have to remain grounded. You have to remain calm. And you have to just weather that storm and laugh. And I hope it does come to a resolution here. But if it doesn't, I'm prepared. I have been documenting stuff for a long time. I have everything that I need. Anyways, and when you don't freak out and you remain calm and laugh storms, you can do things effectively. See? Like I still, even though, oh my gosh, look at my situation, I still found a way to be able to get you a fresh episode. And with a quality mic, it may not be the best setup, but it works, right? So we can still keep moving forward. And that's why we have encouragement here at the bottom of the deck. It might not feel good in those times initially, but it will prepare you to handle the greater things in life for your highest good. That is the why you've been looking for, and you just got to keep pushing through it because there will be a reward waiting for you at the finish line. This is also what it looks like walking in faith and not by sight, and trusting that God puts you through things for a reason. Okay? He tests us in the most mysterious ways. And it looks like this one is about exposing a lot of lies. All right? A lot of people had a lot of things to say about me. A lot of people have been attacking me and targeting me for no reason. But I remained calm to the best of my ability. I stuck to my guns. I continued to live in my truth. And I continued to remain transparent. And now that's why they got their backs up against the wall. And it's no longer me. Because I have nothing to worry about. And they know that. That's why they're still attacking me, even now while I'm recording this episode. Okay, I'm a threat to them. But for all of the good reasons, right? Okay, have faith and gentle in the reverse. There are times where you have got to stick to your guns and do not let anybody push you around. Okay? That's what they want from you. They want you to submit to their lies, submit to their corrupt behavior, submit to how they decided to play games and try to prove a point, only for them to end up losing in the end. Okay? But that faith is not delusion. Just like hope, it's also within you. So don't act a fool just to act a fool. You will know what your faith is, because that is in alignment with your authenticity and the relationship that is within yourself. Okay? And so a lot of this spirituality stuff, people get lost in it. But this has been the thing that has kept me grounded, kept me calm, helped me find my inner voice, helped me find my inner strength, but also find God. All right? For a long time, I was under the wrong impression of who he is. But he's very real. And when he made us in the womb and stitched us together, he put a part of himself inside. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Because he always wanted to be connected with you. He never wanted you to feel like he was too far away. He's right there, right inside of you, and it's that light. And you got to lean into that. All right? He made you perfect so that you would never have to feel like you needed anything more. But then we get tempted because we're in a world of sin. And there are times where we're going to come up against other people that have made a lot of choices, actions, and decisions made out of bad judgment. But we're not here to punish them. We're just here to hold them accountable, to take ownership for what they've done, so that they can make things fair. And that's all I've been asking for since day one, is for the wrongdoings to be corrected and made fair, and they still are unable to do that. But I'm not worried, because again, right behind this mic, I got everything that I need. Anything else, and then we'll call this an end, because I think that this is going to be the clincher, the thing that brings this whole thing home. And there we have it. Release and grounding. The thing here is that it's all about timing. Timing is everything in life. And we see that in people who grow their own gardens. So if you've ever grown your own garden, you know it's all about timing. Or we see that with expecting mothers. It's all about timing. The trimesters, the terrible twos, all those things. But timing is also found in music. Timing is also found in intimacy. Timing is just found in cooking. Timing is everything. And it looks like that it's time for this thing to come home, the way that it should have been a long, long time ago. However, I didn't want to end it too soon, because I wanted to see if these people would tell the truth, if they would make things right, if they would correct the wrongdoings and make things fair. I wanted to see if they would actually understand what real justice is. It's not competitive. It's about recognizing the humanity in the individual across from you just as much as your own humanity. I wanted to see if they would actually help the victim instead of making them their target. In doing this, things will be balanced, but sometimes things just don't happen the way that we want them to. We see that in our presidential elections. We don't always get the president that we want, but he won. And we just got to ride that thing out, and then when it comes back around, we just vote for somebody different. I got to be careful what I say, but you know what I mean. Timing is everything. And it looks like that it's time for this to come home. So thank you so much for joining this test episode of Theo's Coffee Break podcast. Expect it to come out. One way or another, you'll hear this episode. And you'll be so grateful to know that there's still a good person that exists in this world that's willing to stand up for what's right. And I don't care if you call me Elle Woods. I think she's great. And what she did in those movies, Legally Blonde, everybody was better for it. So until the next time, take care, be kind, and remember, no matter what you think of me, no matter what I think of you, you still will always be welcome here at my coffee table. See you in the next episode.